Learn more at toughnweeds.com. Always read and follow label directions. Tough is a registered trademark of Belsham Crop Protection.
Your own home without the maintenance. If you're 55 or better, a beautiful Liberty Village villa could be yours. This is Erin, and I invite you to come take a tour of our move-in ready villa. Click the Liberty Village icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Simply the finest.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Terri Remmer. She is with the DeWitt County Genealogical Society. Good morning, Terri. And I actually need you to pull that mic closer there to you if you can, so we can hear you. How are you, Terri?
Good morning, Seth. I'm fine. Terri Lemmel.
Lemmel. I'm sorry. What did I say?
Remmer.
I'm sorry. Terri Lemmel. I'm sorry.
You were in the ballpark.
Yeah, sorry about that. And
no problem.
I feel terrible because we worked together for 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
That was bad. Anyways, so Genealogical Society, Terri, tell us about the Genealogical Society. What do y'all do? What's your purpose? How about some of those things?
The DeWitt County Genealogical Society is located at the Vespasian Warner Public Library. Mm-hmm. We're down on the lower level, across from the Revere Room. We were organized in 1974, so coming up is our 50th anniversary in October. Mm-hmm. We have tons of research materials for anybody that wants to put together their family tree. Mm-hmm. We have volunteers there every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to help people find things and guide them if they've never done a tree before. Mm-hmm. And most people probably don't know that we're not actually part of the library's business structure. Mm-hmm. We're a separate entity, and we're so grateful to the library for providing a space for us. And of course, they pay the utilities and everything on the room. We have a huge room full of reference materials. The library owns and maintains the microfilm and the microfilm reader, but everything else in that room we're responsible for financially. So the only way we really make money is through membership, and we're happy to welcome new members anytime they'd like to join. They can do so by dropping by on a Thursday when we're there to help them fill out an application.
Sure.
They can find one on our Facebook page, DeWitt County Genealogical Society on Facebook. We also have a website where they can join and pay through PayPal. We have a PayPal link on there.
Very nice. Very nice.
So anyone who would be interested, we'd be happy to welcome them into the society.
Sure.
We have meetings. We're on hiatus for our meetings right now in January and February. We'll start up again in March. We meet on the second Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. We have guest speakers who will deliver a program on a wide range of topics. We've had all sorts of topics like Gettysburg or the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, how to research Polish ancestry. I mean, just all sorts of different topics.
Sure. Why are genealogical societies like yours, why are they so important? What's their purpose in a community?
Well, as you probably know, online genealogy groups are very popular right now. But one thing that people don't realize probably is that there's so much that can't be found online. And for DeWitt County in particular, if you have DeWitt County ancestors, there's a lot of stuff that we don't have online. And one of the things I'm really proud of is that when we organized back in 1974, the court system allowed us to take possession of the probate files from the beginning of the county in 1839 clear up through 1950.
Yeah.
And those probate files usually hold a lot of information about ancestors and their descendants and the property that they owned.
This seems like a pretty self-explanatory question, but I wonder if there's other things maybe folks don't think about. What would someone come to the Genealogical Society for? I mean, what comes to mind is, searching down family trees. Maybe someone has extended family they don't know about and they want to learn more. But are there other reasons someone would come to a Genealogical Society?
You'd be surprised how many people come in to research the history of their house.
Really?
Yeah. And we have lots of old city directories. And, of course, the newspapers. Newspapers.com, if you're not familiar with it, is a website supported by Ancestry that makes digital images out of microfilmed newspapers, and then it's available online for a fee. But our newspapers were digitized in the winter of 2020. It was like the day we closed down for COVID.
Oh,
They
no
came and
kidding.
got our microfilm.
Oh, wow.
And that is available at the library for free. You can use one of their computers to look up old DeWitt County newspapers. And the nice thing about that is it's word searchable.
Oh, wow.
So
Cool.
if you're looking for a particular address, you can put in the address and the time frame and see if there's anything in the newspaper about it. Or
Interesting.
if you're looking for an obituary, it goes up through 1963. After that, there's a copyright issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But those issues are still available at the Genealogical Society, just not through newspapers.com.
Sure. So when it comes, you talked about members and those sorts of things. You mentioned becoming a member, just easy. You register, pay your dues, and you're in. What does being a member mean for the Genealogical Society? Is there a perk? Is there, do they need to be active in certain things you're doing? Speak to membership a little more, Terry.
Well, there are all sorts of things that a member can either be as active or not active as they wish. $25 membership is for your entire household. That entitles you to 4 issues of the quarterly each year, and the newsletter that goes with it. It entitles you to a reduced rate for research. If you ask us to research for you, you get it at a lower rate than we would for. We have people from all over the country who contact us for research purposes. And we do that for a small fee. It really only just covers some of the time and some of the paper and so forth that goes into it, postage, whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Very good. Again, you mentioned there are ways to get involved. You said website, Facebook. How do folks find you, Terry? What's the best way to, if they're looking for you on Facebook, how do they find you there?
Just search DeWitt County Genealogical Society on Facebook.
Very good.
If you look for our website, it's DeWittCountyGenealogicalSociety.com.
Okay.
Just make sure you're in DeWitt County, Illinois, because there are DeWitt counties in other states. I don't think you're going to want to join DeWitt County, Texas.
Texas, yep, that's the popular one. Sure. I wonder if they have that problem, by the way. Like people,
I don't know.
yeah, that would be interesting to find out. No doubt. At any rate, again, Terri Lemmel is with us this morning. She is with the DeWitt County Genealogical Society, and so Terri, with the society itself, you're at the library. You mentioned you've got a room full of great resources. Are you out in the community at all? Do you do much in terms of whether it's outreach, whether it's programs for the community? Do you do much of those things?
It's kind of difficult for us to do much community outreach because we just don't have that many active volunteers.
Sure.
So if you happen to join, it doesn't mean that you have to really do anything. In fact, you don't even have to come to the meetings because we offer them over Zoom to our members.
Oh, wow.
To watch our programs. And you don't have to be a member, actually, to even come to one of our programs. It's open to the public.
Yeah, sure. And you mentioned the research side of things and getting discounts and those sorts of things on some research things that you all do. How much research do you how much of your time spent at the library is research for an individual, research with an individual? How often are folks coming in to utilize what you guys do and what you have?
It almost seems like it comes in spurts.
Yeah.
So we might have 2 requests that came in through our website, and we might have one person that came in person to look for stuff. Or we might have a day where we don't have any researchers, and there's always plenty to do besides that.
Like what?
Keeping the shelves organized and updated and marked where things are easy to find. And we're always getting in new materials, and they have to be logged first in our master file and then put on the shelf in the proper place. And
Yeah.
so there's plenty to be done.
Yeah. I sit and I listen to you talk about how you operate and the things you do. It sounds very almost congruent with what the museum does. You know, I know they're kind of specific to CH Moore, but, you know, in a way, the way Joey comes on with us and speaks about the history of Clinton and, you know, CH Moore's passion for the community and those sorts of things, it just feels like you all have the same mission, just on a different road, if that makes any sense.
A genealogical society, the emphasis is on the people and their ancestors and descendants.
Okay.
However, it's really hard to separate genealogy from historical. So we have a lot of simply history information. A few months ago, I went to the clerk's office and I made digital images of all the original plats of all the towns in DeWitt County.
Oh, wow.
And those are on display in frames. And that's really not genealogy, that's history.
Yeah, sure.
And we have files on the schools. We're getting ready to put together a new map that will have the location of all the old country schools and churches and cemeteries.
Sure. Wow.
So, like I said, there's always a lot to be done, and I can think of lots of projects that I'd love to tackle.
Yes. Yep. Now, how long have you been with the society?
Well, I didn't get really involved until I retired, and that was 5.5 years ago.
Okay. Sure.
And right now I'm serving as president,
Okay.
and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll tell you what, Terry, I look at the clock. Let's take a time out because you've got a big event coming up next week we want to talk about and plenty of other things to get into. One more time, best way for folks to learn about the DeWitt County Genealogical Society.
The very best way would be to simply drop in on a Thursday when the volunteers are there.
Okay.
And we can show people around and ask them some questions about what their goals are and take it from there.
Very good, very good. So stop into the library on Thursdays. See Terry and the folks with the DeWitt County Genealogical Society, who is our guest in studio this morning. More to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network, corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all starting the day slightly higher. March corn opening at 444.5, up 1 3/4. May corn up 2 pennies, 455 1/4, and December new crop 480, up 2 1/4. March beans starting the day $12, even up 3 3/4. May beans up 3 1/4, 12.08, and November new crop 11.78, up 1 1/4. March wheat 594 1/4, up 4. May wheat up 3 3/4, 602 3/4. July wheat 606 1/4, up 3. March bean meal 361.40, up 30 cents. March bean oil 45.74. That's up 41 cents. Opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
New trucks are arriving daily. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, we have Silverados en route, regular cab 1500s in short and 8-foot beds. We also have double cabs in 1500 and HT 2500s, as well as crew cabs in gas or diesel. See our in production and in transit tab for all inventory coming. Or stop in and see us and get all the information you need. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. CEO Paul Scarron reminding you our walk-in clinic inside our family medicine building will treat your flu symptoms without an appointment. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Terri Lemmel is the president of the DeWitt County Genealogical Society and is our guest in studio here for this morning. And Terri, we left off our last segment talking about an event, a workshop, a DNA workshop next next Saturday at the library. Tell us about this. What's going on?
That'll be Saturday the 17th at 10 a.m. It will be in the Revere Room at the library. I'm hosting a DNA workshop. This will be mainly for Ancestry users. Ironically, this morning in my Facebook memories, it popped up that I took my DNA test in 2015. Since then, I've become the manager of 7 other DNA profiles besides my own and have viewing privileges for a couple more besides that. And I've learned a lot about identifying and figuring out your matches on DNA matches on Ancestry.
Sure. So tell me a little bit, not to dive too much in and spoil what you're going to have for us on next Saturday, but what kind of talking points are you going to get to? What's on your mind as you enter this workshop? What do you want folks to take away?
The workshop's going to be basically 3 segments, and the first segment is about other sites and techniques that anyone could use, regardless of where you did your DNA. The second part will be an introduction to the Ancestry DNA and the tools available. And then the third segment, I'm going to go through an individual DNA match and how you can identify them and verify the relationship and so forth.
Okay.
And I'm asking people who attend in person to bring their laptop or their iPad so that they can bring up their own DNA matches and work through it with me as I show them one that I did.
Yeah, sure.
And then we're also offering it over Zoom. So if you want to attend in person, you need to call the library to register. Attendance is limited to 20 people. Their phone number is 217-935-5174. If you want to participate over Zoom, I need to be notified at the Genealogical Society's email, which is DeWitt, DEWITT, CGS at gmail.com. Notify me by the 14th. And then on the 16th, I will send out the Zoom link and digital images of the handouts.
Okay.
I have lots of easy to understand handouts. I'm not going to get real technical. I want everybody to understand what they're doing and to learn how to use the tools available on Ancestry for processing your DNA matches.
Sure. And then maybe from there, if they want to get more technical, they can come back to the Genealogical Society's spot in the library later on and do more follow-up and more research.
Yes, and I also have a glossary of terms for them to refer to, and a list of different websites. There are lots of YouTube videos you can watch and different websites you can go to that explain how to do things step by step.
Okay.
But on Ancestry, there are so many tools available that it gets a little overwhelming. And I think that people find that frequently they get their DNA test results back and they don't know what to do after that.
Right. And you were telling me before we got started that those like the advertisements and just the way those are marketed make it sound so easy, but it really can be complicated. How about that, Terri?
It really can be complicated, and I think there are a number of things that, for example, a lot of people say that they got their DNA done just to find out their ethnicity. But it turns out that the ethnicity is such a random thing that unless you're in a group with a lot of endogamy, which is a case where people within a community intermarry for several generations. For example, Cherokee Indians or Ashkenazi Jews, Amish. Then in my case, I'm a real Heinz 57. My ancestors have been here since not long after the Mayflower.
Oh, wow.
So my ethnicity is so mixed up that it doesn't really tell me much.
Yeah, sure. Well, and when it comes to, kind of tracking down some of the things that folks are looking for, do those resources, those kind of nationally known resources, do they do a good job of directing you to those things, or is it one of those things where you get a kind of a cluster of information and then you have to decipher it and maybe do more research on your own? Kind of what happens after you get those results?
It absolutely requires some critical thinking because you'll get all sorts of hints, and some of them are way off base. My goal in getting my DNA done was to advance my tree. So I like to look at other people's trees, which are often full of mistakes. So you can't just take what's in somebody else's tree. You have to look and see if they have sourced that information. Let's say, for example, I have a lot of ancestors who came from southern Indiana, but the county where they came from doesn't have stuff online, really. So I went there myself, and I found a whole bunch of stuff, and I added it to my tree on Ancestry, which then becomes a hint for others. But there's the source. You find it in someone else's tree and not through Ancestry itself.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So you may have to do a little digging. And
You got to dig.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so with some of those things said, how much of what will you will talk about next Saturday will be in that conversation? Will this do much for, just laying out what that general process looks like? And I guess, can you connect the resources that we hear about on TV and radio to what you'll talk about next Saturday at all?
I'm not really going to delve into the tree building other than the way DNA matches can enhance it, what to look for, and how to go about confirming stuff.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That's a good little tidbit, I feel like. It's like, okay, I've done this. I've got all this information. What do I do next? So this would be a good resource or good program to come in and sit and listen to about what do I need to do next? What is some of this information telling me? Those sorts of things.
And how can it help me?
And how can it help you? Yes, absolutely. Very good. Well, Terri, I've got about a minute left here with you. Did I miss anything on the workshop next Saturday that you wanted to dive into?
No, I think that's pretty well covered.
Okay, if you don't mind, one more time, the when, the where, how folks get registered, all those things.
It's Saturday the 17th, 10 a.m., in person at the library or over Zoom. It's free. Anyone can, you don't have to be a member to participate in it. So just let me know at DeWittCountyCGS@gmail.com if you want a Zoom invitation.
In person and online, correct?
Right.
Yep. Very good. So be a part of that. That is, again, next Saturday, 10 a.m. in the Revere Ware Room at the Warner Library in Clinton. Terri, best way for folks to just learn more about the DeWitt County Genealogical Society, where do they go? Who do they call? How do they find you folks?
Come to the library any Thursday. And come downstairs to the genealogy room. I will tell you that on Thursday the 15th, which is Thursday of next week, the library's not going to be open.
Okay.
But ordinarily, they're open every Thursday. And if you come in there, a volunteer will be happy to show you around and ask you some questions and see how we can help.
Very good. Terri, come back. This was a great conversation. Thanks for coming out with us. Terri Lemmel.
Seth.
Yes, thank you. Terri Lemmel is the president of the DeWitt County Genealogical Society, in studio with us. Network News is next.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton 92.3